Hey guys, what is going on today? Bojo here, and in today's video we're going to be doing a little bit of a comparison with my review of the new NHL Adidas jerseys, comparing them to the old NHL Reebok jerseys. Now I know I'm a little bit behind on this video just because I wanted to wait a little bit because I knew that all the teams would be releasing their away jerseys in some time as well. Now, although all the NHL teams have not released all their away jerseys, I only think there's maybe around 5 or so who have not. I wanted to wait and do this comparison when we had most of the jerseys found out. So, if you guys do enjoy this video, make sure to leave a like, subscribe if you guys are new. I'm going to be doing a review on the draft and the expansion draft as well, so stay tuned for that. But let's dive into this video. Now, I really like the way I planned this video out is because I found a post on a website. I really forget the name of the website. It's a really common one where a lot of people post pictures and things like that. But I found a website where somebody actually took the time to put the new Adidas jerseys as well as cut out one of the old Reebok jerseys. Now, all these pictures are for the home jerseys, and then I went in individually, looked at all those 14-second videos that each of the NHL teams had posted, and did a comparison of the fonts and the numbering in the back, and then took a look at their away jerseys as well, because their away jerseys didn't really show the text or the font on the back, but normally they would probably be the same as the home jerseys. But I did those two things individually. All the pictures of the home jerseys, though, I found online somewhere. So we're going to go in alphabetical order, starting with the Anaheim Ducks, and they are pretty much similar to what the old ones were like. A lot of the newer Adidas jerseys, as you guys will see, are very solid color in the necks. There's not really going to be a much difference in there, but with the sleeves and the inside part of the body, very much the same for the Anaheim Ducks. If we look at the back part with the texts and the numbering looks pretty much the same. The text looks a little bit different. In the Reebok jerseys, it looks like the numbering and the text on the words have a very similar comparison. This one, not too much. The wording looks a little bit more blocky style than the numbering style of the Ducks Reebok jerseys, so I think there might be a little bit of a difference right there. And then if we take a look at their away jerseys, once again, pretty much the exact same thing with the stripes on the sleeves and the stripes in between the body. Next up, we move to the Arizona Coyotes. Now, I think this is a older picture of the old Coyotes jerseys that they used. I don't think they were using the completely maroon one last year. I definitely think they upgraded to the black ones in the sleeves. But yeah, that's I still like these jerseys the way with the black on the sleeves behind the numbering. Some people don't like that, but I like it. If we could take a look at the comparison between the fonts and the numberings, they look pretty much the same other than the font. The font looks a lot more blocky style, once again, more bolder than the old ones, which are kind of like smushed together. Granted, it is Oliver Ekman-Larsson's name that I used. As, you know, not a great comparison I could have picked, but still, the text looks a little bit more blocky style, and the numbering looks pretty much the same. If I compare like the tip part of the one and the back end of that too, they look pretty much the same. And then their away jerseys, once again, very much the same, with the black on the sleeves and the stripes on the arms. Alright, so next up we move to the Boston Bruins. Very much the same once again, no difference, stripes are all the same. The only thing I think that they changed are the numbering and the outlines of the names. It looks like there's more of a thicker white now than there was in the past, and it also seemed in this picture that they did white, then black, then yellow. So this one, it looks like they're just doing obviously the background in black, but then just a more broad, thicker white, and then the yellow on the inside, as well as them using, I think, black socks now for their home uniform instead of, I think, white or yellow. So that's a nice little difference right there for the Boston Bruins, but other than that, exactly the same. We don't have the away jerseys yet for the Boston Bruins. So we move on to the Buffalo Sabres. Once again, pretty much the same. They're going with the blue neck instead of the yellow neck, but the stripes and all that fun stuff are exactly the same. Looking at the back and the numbering, very much the same. Once again, looks like the exact same fonts for the numbering and the lettering on the back. Away jerseys, once again, very much the same yet again, but it looks like the white on their sleeves looks a little bit more blended in. I forget whose jersey when we'll come to it. I think it's New Jersey's new Adidas jerseys, where I think like the white sleeves, you can actually tell like there's a different color of white than the actual white that's on the entirety of the jersey. But yeah, this one very much the same once again with the Buffalo Sabres. All right, next up we move to the Calgary Flames. Now the only difference that I could tell on this jersey is that they removed those little black stripings that are going onto the arm piece and down towards the bottom of the jersey. That looks like they removed them, not all the way though. It only looks like they removed the striping onto the arm and then maybe like cut the jersey on the halfway mark. It still seems like they have the yellow and the white along the stripes near the bottom, but they definitely removed the striping on the arms. And then if we look at the font style, it's much different as well. In the old Reebok jerseys, you could tell they were a little bit italic in a way. These ones much more straightforward than we have seen before. They're not going with that italic look anymore, going straight block style that we have seen with a lot of these other Adidas jerseys. And then as we move to the away jerseys, once again with the Calgary Flames, still same thing. They kept the stripes along the side of the jersey, but they removed that single red stripe going up into the arms. Everything else remains the same. Now as we move on to the Carolina Hurricanes, who definitely had a big difference in their jersey. We have not gotten their away jerseys as of yet, but the addition of the black on their home jerseys I really do like, with that red stripe on the new jerseys as well. They have that hurricane like flag style pattern going along there. It's kind of hard to see in this picture, but they do have that hurricane flag pattern, which is I think one of their alternate jerseys. They have that all along the red striping, which I really think looks nice. They changed the neck from black to a full red, and I really do like the addition of the black on the Carolina Hurricanes jersey. I think it definitely bumps it up a bit, and you get more of that black in their jersey than that they had before, rather than just all red and white. Once again, as we move to the Chicago Blackhawks, nothing has pretty much changed on their jersey. Looking at the front part of it, as we move on to the back, the numbers seem like they're a little bit more indented than Kane's blocky style, and the wording looks very much the same. So the wording looks the same. Looks like they changed up the numbers a little bit. As we move to their away jerseys, first thing when I saw their new away jerseys, I thought in my head, isn't that one of their Stadium Series jerseys? Because God forbid the Hawks have played in so many Stadium Series games and Winter Classics, but they are very much the same once again with the black stripes and the black on the armbands. Now we move to the Colorado Avalanche. I really like these new jerseys. They go back in time. They're going back to the old like Peter Forsberg, Joe Sakic era with that diamond pattern along the bottom. I really like that. They got rid of the stripes going from the middle of the jersey all the way down. Now they're just going with the straight all the way down along the arms. I really like that. As we move on to the back, they got rid of the jagged font style on the numbers, which I really liked, those like the jagged edges on the font, but they still kept the same text pattern along with that little curvature of the name along the back. So I really think that looks cool. And obviously with those new stripes along near the neck going all the way down through the arms and still keeping that diamond pattern along the back, I really like the new look of the Colorado Avalanche jerseys. Same thing with the away style. They keep that diamond pattern, get rid of the stripes along the sides, and continue that long striping pattern all the way down the arms. Very good job from the Colorado Avalanche. Next up is the Columbus Blue Jackets. Nothing really too different along with these jerseys. They pretty much keep the same style. They keep the same font. They keep the same. I think the font changes a little bit. The font and their the numbering look to be pretty much the same. Obviously, I'm using Sod's old jersey, but that's not applicable anymore. But it looks like the numbering and the font style in Sod's jersey kind of matched up. They kind of lose that little. I don't know what font that is. I do remember using that font in Photoshop sometimes, but yeah, the numbering and the text look a little bit more different in the new style jerseys. But then as we move to their away jerseys, they pretty much keep the exact same with that little thin red stripe going all the way down and that tiny little blue stripe before you go into the solid red at the bottom of the jersey. Still keeping that stars though along the arm sleeves. Next up is the Dallas Stars. We don't really get to see the font all too much in the Dallas Stars new jerseys, but they keep the same thing once again. Nothing really too different about their jerseys. And then same thing along with the road jerseys. Nothing really too great as well. It looks like the green stops a little bit more early than it did in the older versions, but they keep the same jersey basically. Next up is the Plain Jane Detroit Red Wings. It's a classic jersey. Obviously you don't want to change it all too much, and they rarely did. It's all red with a little bit of white in these jerseys. Nothing too much on the front. As we move on to the back, they still keep that, once again, that arc with their the text. Numbering still looks very much the same with the blocky style. And then the road jerseys, nothing to differ. Once again, maybe they move that red stripe up just a little bit more so that you get a little bit more white at the bottom of their away jersey, but other than that, nothing really too different on Detroit's end. Now, as we look to the Edmonton Oilers, who changed up from their blue and orange style jersey to like an all orange home style jersey, they darkened the blue a little bit more. So obviously I think this person used the old Edmonton Oilers jersey once again, so flip-flop the orange and the blue, and you could obviously see what that comparison would have been. They changed up the stripes. Instead of going white, orange, white, they go white, that dark blue, and now that white's on there. I like these. Some people don't like the dark blue. I think it fits them a little bit more. As you look on the back with their text, same thing, that new dark blue I think pops out a little bit more. It looks kind of more on the blackish end rather than on the dark blue side, but I think it'll look better once we see them worn by some of the players. But they opted to flip-flop the text as well. Instead of going blue and then outlining white, they're going with white and outlining it in the blue. Don't have the away jerseys from these guys yet either. Next up are the Florida Panthers, who just recently got one of the new jerseys, I think, last year, so I didn't think they were going to change them up all too much, and they didn't change them at all whatsoever. The Florida Panthers jerseys are a little bit weird, though, because they do have that stripe on the front, but it doesn't carry all the way into the back. The lettering and the numbering looks very much the same on this Panthers jersey. They just got a new one last year. I didn't expect them to change it all too much. So for the LA Kings, not too much has changed. I think the LA Kings jersey looks just weird in my personal opinion, because they have those like two white stripes going along the armbands, and one of them's like cutting through the numbering. I think that just looks weird. They have those gray stripes centering the white on the armbands. Nothing really too much has changed from LA Kings' side of things. Their wording, though, looks a little bit different. The numbering still looks the same with that really thick numbering style. The wording looks more rounded in the past than it has on the old LA Kings jerseys. The old LA Kings jerseys looked more, just basic text, and now they look a bit more rounded. And then looking at their away jerseys, once again, nothing really all too much has changed with them other than the neck going from all black to all white. Next up is the Minnesota Wild, who changed up their jersey. So their home jersey now is going to be very reflective to that of one of their alternate jerseys. So once again, like the Florida Panthers, they have that single stripe going right through the logo, which looks nice, but it doesn't carry all the way into the back. Kind of weird. Their white is almost like a cream color. In a sense, it's not really all white. It's more of a cream type of color. It looks more white in this picture that I found, but I think it's more on the side of like that like tannish kind of color. So the text looks pretty much the same as that old Minnesota Wild jersey with the all red, and the font, obviously they kept the white, but then outline it in red to bring that out a bit more on the green. Their away jerseys, which came out I think only a couple days ago, are very much the same. They keep that striping on the bottom. Text looks exactly the same. A little bit more bolded style maybe on the wording, but other than that, it looks like they kept the same away jersey. Next up is the Montreal Canadiens, who don't really get a back end view of their text logos, but they didn't really change this one up all too much either. Still the same on the arms, in the middle and down at the bottom. Away jersey, very much the same. Once again, didn't change anything about this other than maybe having the red once again stop up a little bit more on the arm sleeves. Alright, shield your eyes, everybody. Now you get to one of the more ugliest jerseys that they have created. God, I feel so bad for Nashville. The arms look almost the same, except you don't have that stripe anymore. These jerseys just stink, man. They're really bad. They really took out all the uniqueness that the Nashville Predators jersey is, and it's just so plain. It's all just yellow. There's no detail into it whatsoever. I don't like these jerseys, and I think everybody just doesn't like the new Nashville jerseys. As we move on to the back, text looks a little bit more blocky style than more the thinner text that they did in the past, but at least they kept the numbering the same with those multiple stripes in through the numbers, which I think is nice. And they did keep the same numbering style as well, but the front part, not good on Nashville's end. I don't like them. Next up is the New Jersey Devils. Pretty much stayed the same. They got rid of the striping at the bottom of the jersey, so they completely axed the white, black, and white stripe at the bottom. Just keep it all red with a little singular black stripe at the bottom of the jersey, which I think looks a little bit better. I feel like that threw off the arming a little bit. It doesn't really go, there's not really a good consistency though I see with the new jerseys rather than the old ones, but I still like them nonetheless. And then if we look at their the back end of it, we don't have the away jerseys yet from the Devils either, but the text looks pretty much the same and the numbering looks very much the same. The jersey has those weird, like very spaced out numbers, I feel, when filling in the inside part of the numbers. So Jersey Devils are a little bit weird without that stripe, but I still think they work. All right, moving on to the New York Islanders. Very much the same once again. Nothing that I could tell different between the front part of the jersey. Back end, it looks like the numbers got a lot thicker than they have in the past. The text looks the same, but the numbering looks to be a lot more thicker and blockier. Like, the numbering on that jersey almost takes up the entire back side of the jersey, which is pretty ridiculous, I think. And then their away jerseys, yeah, you just fill in the... You flip the colors and you fill it in with white, and there you go. Nothing much with the New York Islanders jerseys other than the new numbering looks a lot thicker. Taking a look at the New York Rangers jersey now, once again, nothing much has changed. Same stripes at the bottom and on the arms, same logo, obviously. And then as we look at their away jerseys, nothing much has changed either. They kept the New York Rangers jersey very much the same. Didn't get a back view of the numbering on the Rangers jersey, so I would have loved to see if they still kept that, like the drop shadow on the left-hand side of the numbering. I would have loved to see if they changed that up any bit. Now as we move on to the Ottawa Senators, who got a little bit of a fix here. They changed up their arm sleeves a little bit. It looks as though that black goes all the way through to the underside of the arms, and I think that looks a little bit cooler. They still have that white stripe in there as well, the white part on the sleeves as well, but I really like the fact that they threw that all black all the way through the jersey. I think that looks really nice. And then as we can see with their text, they changed up the text a little bit. They don't have really those jagged edges along with the numbers anymore. They were a lot more curvy, I guess you could say, on the old jerseys. Now they're much more thicker, much more basic, and the text changed as well. I feel like the text and the numbering on the old jerseys kind of matched up a little bit together, but now it seems like they're a little bit more blocky style, and like they're more sport. If you ever seen like sports text before, that's what the Ottawa Senators text looks a little bit more like. All right, now we go on to Philly. Nothing much has changed with these guys at all. I love my Flyers jersey. I don't have one of these yet. I only have one Flyers jersey. I definitely need to get one of these puppies for sure. Maybe I'll get a Braden Shen jersey. Definitely not. But yeah, nothing much has changed on the Flyers jerseys. These are one of my favorite jerseys, obviously because it is my favorite team. But I just like the orange and the black. It goes well together. I love the nameplate with the black on the white with the nameplate. It looks awesome. Numbering pretty much stays the same as well. So I dig my Flyers jerseys. Away jerseys, nothing much has changed whatsoever. Once again, with the black plate, hopefully will be on the newer ones with the away jerseys as well, with the white text and the orange numbering. Looks pretty good. Okay, the Pittsburgh Penguins, nothing much has changed with these guys at all. Same striping, same coloring on the arms and on the neck piece as well. We don't get to see the text for their jerseys, but we do get to see the road jerseys as well. And they are pretty much the same. Once again, nothing much has changed at all with these jerseys, so the Penguins keep pretty much the same thing. Okay, so the St. Louis Blues, from the front part, you can't really tell a difference with the Blues jerseys, but once you get to the back part of it, you'll see that there is a big difference with these Blues jerseys, but they keep the same striping. It looks like their striping along their arms are a little bit more blue, more of that darker blue along the arm. So I feel like they moved those up a little bit and the striping up a little bit more towards the elbow pattern, but their other striping all remains the same. But as we go to the back, and they flip-flop the outlines of the text, the text still looks the same, but the numbering has changed a little bit, where also that stripe doesn't go all the way down on the arms as well. It just stops pretty much at your shoulders, but then the numbering changes from outlining in white and then the blue, then the yellow. They go outline yellow first, then the blue, and now the white lettering on the Blues jerseys, which I think looks a little bit better. It pops a little bit more, I think. And then if we take a look at their away jerseys, I can't really see the back, but the front part looks pretty much the same, other than the striping going all the way down into the arms, it stops pretty much like halfway. San Jose's jerseys are pretty bland, I guess you could say. That green is a nice color though. I really do like that bluish kind of greenish color, and that little tint of that kind of brownish gold along in there. The striping on the sleeves I think really goes well, matches up with the color on the hockey stick that the shark is biting. As we take a look at the back, nothing much has changed with their wording or their numbering as well. I like the San Jose Sharks jerseys, I really do, and their away jerseys look pretty much the same as well. There's nothing really complex about San Jose's. They keep one solid color both through their home and away. Don't change that up all too much. All right, now we move to two jerseys who are pretty much the exact same of each other, Tampa Bay's and Toronto's. Tampa Bay really didn't change anything all too much. It's all blue with the white stripes. And then if we take a look at the back end, they still keep the same outline on the numbering, and the text looks exactly the same. As we move on to their away jerseys, once again, pretty much exactly the same, and I would expect to see it as well. Now, as we move on to the Toronto Maple Leafs, we don't have their away jerseys yet, but like Tampa, they just add in an extra stripe along the... Basically, they take out the middle part of that white. If you would fill in that blue along the stripes with Toronto's jersey, you would get Tampa Bay's jersey easily. It's pretty much the exact same as they have been before. On the back, numbering looks a little bit more wider. I think that was a bad picture that I found on Google, but I think the lettering and the numbering are exactly the same in Toronto's case. Next up are the Vancouver Canucks. They don't change much at all either. The green, the white stripes, all the same. Move on to the back. The numbering looks exactly the same. I know the Canucks have that long stretched out numbering with a bunch of their players, and I think the text is, the same as well. With their away jerseys, nothing changed at all whatsoever. Now we move on to the Washington Capitals, who pretty much keep the same jersey. It's kind of hard to tell in these two pictures, but it looks like the white on their sleeves with that little thin blue stripe are the same. It looks like in the newer Capitals jersey, that blue stripe is a little bit more farther down on the neck than they were in the other one, which go along the shoulders, but they still keep that single blue stripe down at the bottom. Going on to the back, text looks pretty much the exact same along with the numbering. They still keep that arc on the 7, which I think is pretty nice, still outlining it in the same color. And then if we look at their road jerseys, same thing as the home jerseys, but once again with that blue stripe going up towards the neck area rather than the old ones that went all the way near like the back part of the shoulder going all the way down to the sleeves. Next up, the Winnipeg Jets. They don't change much whatsoever. Again, I like the Jets jerseys. I really like that light blue coloring and the darker blue coloring on these ones as well. Same stripes along the arms, same stripes along the bottom. Move on to the back. Feels like the Jets kind of indented their numbering a bit, which I do kind of like. They go towards that new italic look, I think. Not with the lettering, but more of the numbering. It seems as though the 1 and the 7 are more a little bit italic on their side. They still do keep that like slashing style with their numbering, where they cut like a part of that 5 off and do the same thing with the 7. But the text looks pretty much the same, but maybe a little bit more italic on the numbering. It looks pretty cool. Away jerseys, though, look pretty much exactly the same. And then finally, we get to the newest jerseys in the NHL, the Vegas Golden Knights. Taking a look at their home jerseys first. I like these. As much as people don't like them, I like the red in them. I really do. I feel like they would be better if they were just all gold or they didn't have the black on the sleeves. I feel like if they removed the black and they removed the red and just kept that all gray with the gold in there, I feel like that would have been a really, really nice jersey. I do like the outline of gold, and then the white numbering and the lettering of the Golden Knights always looks pretty nice as well. I feel like the red pops a bit more in the road jerseys. If they've used the red in the road jerseys, I feel like that would have been much, much better. But if they kept their home jerseys all gray with just the gold, maybe you leave that black stripe down at the bottom near the base. I feel like that would be pretty cool. But the red definitely doesn't pop in the home jerseys. The red definitely pops in the road jerseys, I think, a little bit more. So there you go, guys. There is my comparison and thoughts about the new Adidas jerseys. Like I said, some of the teams did keep the exact same jersey with like a couple minor details, but then we have some other teams that completely changed the way their jersey looks, like Minnesota, for instance, completely reworked their jersey. Same thing with Edmonton and a couple other teams in there as well. So let me know what your guys' thoughts on these new jerseys are. down in the comments down below which is your favorite New Jersey. You can include Vegas if you want, or you could just, you know, put your favorite team down there as well. I think the Flyers jerseys are still one of my favorite. A little bit of hometown bias there, but thank you guys for watching. If you did enjoy, make sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe as always. I don't want to rank them because then, you know, opinions get in the way of things, but I just wanted to do a quick comparison of the Reeboks and the Adidas and, you know, a little brief thought on them. So thank you guys for watching. I'll see you next time. Peace.